He can surely see that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Live After the Game. Of course, Todd Leary here. Jordan Hall's with us today. A special guest coming to you live from Yogi's as Indiana takes on North Alabama, and an easy win for them today. A lot of things to look forward to positive-wise, and some things that I think that they could certainly work on, guys. But it looks like appropriate that you guys are with us because it looked like you guys were out there shooting today. Indiana does one thing for certain good, and that was shooting behind the three-point line. They went off. They felt like 42%. 13 threes or whatever they ended up with, a crazy number that we haven't seen for quite some time. And I can't hear you guys, so I'm going to let you guys kind of take it away and talk amongst yourselves.
Well, Jordan, I'll start out here, Jordan, by saying that people listen to me talk all the time. So I'm going to pass it straight off to you from the beginning because I want to hear your perspective of not just this game, but the games in general so far and what you've thought of the team.
Yeah, I thought just going to this game, I thought it was a good tune-up. You know, I thought, like Jim said, that we were able to hit 13 threes. We had struggled from the outside. Now, they played zone the whole time, so that kind of forced our hand in shooting more outside. But maybe that was a good thing for us. But overall, over the season, you know, we've had a pretty good schedule, playing some really good teams, athletic teams who have challenged us defensively, and I've been happy with that. So, you know, getting the response game that we had after Texas, beating Stanford, and then losing a tough game on the road at Florida State, another good team. You know, I thought we showed some really good signs. Obviously, a lot of things to work on. But, you know, going off of tonight, the outside shooting was a step in the right direction. We shot 33 threes instead of the 10 threes we shot, I think, in one of the previous games, which is, you know, if you're a shooter, 10 threes is something one guy can get off in a game. So, but I think they're talking on the commentators of the game. Brian Bush, he was talking about how they weren't ready to shoot the basketball, and I've noticed that early on. Is that when we're catching the ball, our feet aren't set, we're not ready to shoot it. Like we're catching it and then deciding, okay, I'm not open enough to shoot it. And as a shooter, you can't do that. So I thought today was a little bit better. We got it inside out. When the ball got moving quick and we got it in the middle of the zone, that was a lot better for us.
Yeah, and I think like you're very positive, which is a great thing. I get a lot of flack because I'm pretty negative about a lot of the things that we do, and I don't like to point them out. I just do point them out. But I think right along the lines with what you're saying is you know, these guys are not shooters. Their mentality, they haven't. I don't want to say they haven't grown up as shooters. They scored the basketball. Obviously, everyone in high school scored the basketball, but they're not just true shooters. Where when a guy, you know, they don't naturally move into a position and get their feet set and get their body set so that when they catch it, I mean, you are always known for a really quick release, and it's a lot of it isn't just how fast your arms move. I mean, a lot of it is having your body set and ready, and you know, that's kind of what I've said for a long time is. You know, on this team, we have guys that are capable of making shots, but we don't have guys that are shooters, and they haven't proven that to this point. I think that's what we thought Leal would be more of. I think it's what we thought Galloway would be more of. And to this point, obviously, we just haven't seen it. Now today, you know, this is the get right game they needed. You know, they've had such a good schedule. That good meaning they played really good teams. They needed a kind of a get right game. Last year they had 10 of these to start the season. Exactly. So you know, it's nice for them to be able to come out and have one of these and get some confidence. That's the thing I hope comes out of it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken with this, but it's pretty close. But that might be Leal's first three-pointer that he's made. It might be the first one that Galloway's made. It might be close to the first one that Landers made. Mm-hmm. So those guys need the confidence and need the build-up for that, and that's what I think this game is good for them.
For sure. And you look at Anthony, just the short stuff that we've been watching now, he's got more minutes today when they were playing zone, moving the ball, that kind of stuff. He's looking to make the right play, you know, like he's hesitating to pass, when sometimes he's the one who's open to shoot it, you know? And that's kind of going back to the point that you're talking about, being ready to shoot, and we need guys who are those shooters. I've always said when I'm teaching somebody or trying to explain shooting, you know, like 80% of your shots done before you even catch the ball.
Sure.
that's how you're going to get your shot off, especially for a little guy like me. I had to do that, or else there's no way I'm getting my shot off in the
Sure.
Big Ten. So, like you're saying, hopefully it's a good confidence booster. Franklin shot the crap out of it today. That was great to see. Again, they were in a zone, so a little bit different, but
yeah. It's funny this time of year. Last year's Notre Dame game, he went crazy in shooting in the Notre Dame game last year, and it's almost to the day like this. It was almost like this week last year that he did that, and then he struggled. It seemed like the rest of the season to shoot the ball, But I mean, I just hope that this is an opportunity for the younger guys, Leal and Galloway and Lander, to gain that outside shooting confidence, because I think that those guys early in the season have tried to fit in too much. Like this team lacks the ability to shoot the ball. Like if you look at the guys coming back from last year, they do not have anyone that's coming back that's known as a shooter. So when these guys come in, I mean, Leal's known as a shooter. That's what he got recruited for. Galloway, maybe not quite as much as a spot-up shooter, but, I mean, he's very capable of making the shots. Lander can score in a million different ways. And I just feel like these guys are trying to fit in too much and trying to, they're not playing the way they were recruited. And that, to me, is what I hope a game like this helps them build their way out of. It's not like – it's not like when you played or when I played, when there's like 9 guys in front of you that are capable of beating you out. I mean, these guys, there's minutes for these guys to play. And if anyone can knock down shots, they're going to play.
For sure. Yeah. And especially even since I've been playing, the way that the game has changed, that you got to be able to knock down threes. Shooting 20 threes a game is almost not even enough, so especially all the attention that Trace is going to get. He's going to be able to score in all different ways. Getting to his left hand. He loves getting to that left.
Right.
We get him going right. Teams are going to start forcing him right. So getting different counters and getting guys in his vision when he can make those passes. And also today, even I thought our defense was pretty good. There was obviously some bad moments as well, but when we got stops and we're able to run, that created everything for us. That's when Trey's at his best. He's in transition. He's able to see that next pass, not just putting his head down and turning the ball over,
Right.
He's able to go find that next guy, hit the opposite side, one more pass to the corner, open 3. Like, those are the things that we need, and it starts on the defensive end, which we've been more solid on than I would say our offense as a team. So if we can get that and trade our offense that way, then I think we'll be in a lot better position.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, Jim always gives me a hard time because I said in our last broadcast, I think we made 4 3-pointers in the last broadcast or the last game. And I said, we won't win 2 games in the Big Ten where we only make 4 3-pointers. Now we'll win more games than that, obviously, but if we only made 4 3-pointers a game, I don't think we would win more than 2 games in the Big Ten. It's just a different game now. It's different than it used to be, and you've got to have the ability to knock down shots. I'm not shocked at all that a team like North Alabama came in here and played zone the whole time, because if I was playing Indiana and I watched them on film, that's what I would do. I would not let anyone leave the lane. Everyone would have a foot in the lane the entire game, and I'd make them prove they could hit it, which Indiana did tonight. So, I know that people love to hear your perspective of it because mine gets very stale. I harp on the not being able to shoot the ball regularly, and hearing you say it means a lot more than it does just hearing me say it every game. But besides shooting the ball, and you mentioned the defense. Like last game. The last 3 games, I thought their defense has been really, really good. Like the Texas game is kind of the anomaly out of everything. Like besides that, their defense has been good. They've rotated well. They've rotated and played like a very veteran basketball team on the defensive end of the floor. They've just been incapable of knocking down shots. And I think you were hitting on it a second ago when you said, Trace Jackson Davis is going to be the beneficiary of them if they can knock down shots. His game's going to get a lot easier because if that percentage keeps going down and they're not able to knock down shots, people are going to back up and get farther and farther away and just get closer to Trace.
100%. I mean, he's getting to the foul line. He's always done that, and that's one of his really good attributes, I guess.
Sure.
But we got to knock down free throws. We got to get him touches inside out. That's just going to clear everything else up. And make his, like you're saying, make his job a lot easier. He's getting a lot of tough buckets where he's having to go with one guy, then the help side's coming, and then he's good enough to finish. But again, if we can make his life easier, save his energy, everybody's playing. Obviously, they're not trying to miss shots. I think it's just the preparation part of it. And then I think once we get that clicking, because if you look at a team like Iowa, I watched them play
2 nights ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy! Every time, they were perfect. They knew exactly what they're doing. One pass, one dribble, draw and kick. Guys are catching it, ready to shoot the basketball. Now that's a different makeup team, and maybe that's it's different things, of course. But I think like you watch a team like that who's shooting the ball like that. That's how the game is being played now.
And they have, and Iowa's a good example. I mean, they have 5 guys on the floor that can shoot from 3 at all times. Most teams, especially in college, don't have that. But if you've got 3 guys that can do it, you give yourself a great opportunity, to spread the floor and have driving lanes and kick it out. And that's the thing with Iowa that I noticed the other night was, when they had guys drive, everybody moved into spot. Everybody moved into the spot they needed to be. And they had shooters, they'd have 3 open shooters if a guy drove into the lane. And that offense was fun to watch. I know everybody doesn't have the makeup of that team, and I get it. And Indiana, I kind of said last week, if you picked 2 NFL teams, Indiana's kind of like the Pittsburgh Steelers, where their record's pretty good and they play pretty good, but they play real solid defense and they're going to try to beat you, 17-14. Versus they're not Kansas City, who's going to try to beat you, 35-21. They're going to try to outscore you. And from a fan's perspective, I try to look at it. I try to look at it from a fan's perspective first, which I've been a fan since a little kid, so same as you. But it's just not. It's not that fun to watch. When they can't score points, it's not that fun to watch. And I don't root for Virginia for a reason, because they're boring. They're boring to watch play, and that's what I think this team has got to come up with. Like they've got to. Their early season identity is not that exciting and not that fun. And I think today is something that you can definitely build off of and start to gain that confidence we talked about. And just, I know I'm harping on the same stuff over and over again, but there's not a lot to talk about. They needed a game like this. Last year we had 10 of them where they got to basically have practice games 10 times. Well, they're going to jump right back into the fire, next week. And then when the Big Ten starts, you know what that's like. So. I know you and I talked about it, but before we came on screen here, but I'm not sure everyone is up to speed. Fill us in on where you're at, what you're doing, how long you've been there, because I was shocked when you told me this.
No, Germany's good, man. It's we played 6 games. I had a game last night. We're 5-1. We lost to one of the better teams in the league, so that's good. Good start. We're just thankful to play any game that we can with COVID restrictions. Lockdowns happening, that kind of stuff.
I know you mentioned you're getting ready to have another lockdown this week. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. So, I mean, my family's not here, so I don't do too much anyway. But they say, just grocery stores, essential stuff. Maybe people are going to work, but you can't be out past like 8 o'clock or something like that.
Wow.
Some different. I don't have the rule sheet in front of me, but I know a lockdown's coming. But hopefully my family can get out here next week and a half. That's the goal. And I haven't seen them in a couple months, so I'm excited for that. I haven't seen my baby girl in person yet. So my wife's been a rock star the last 2 months. We bought a house right next to my parents, so that's been nice. And her parents have helped a lot. But still 3 kids at nighttime is not the easiest thing in the world when they're all under 3 years.
So hang on a minute. Let's recap something real quick. You just said that you have not seen your baby girl yet live in person.
Right.
And you're in Germany, and you moved your wife next door to your parents. You officially, not only are you Mr. Basketball, you might be Mr. America right now, because I don't know very many people that could survive marriage pulling those 2 things off right there. That's pretty impressive.
Hey, she's been great. She lets me keep playing basketball for a living and bring her across the water. Like she's been super with all that. So again, if they get out here in a couple weeks, I'll be happy. All my downtime will be gone. 3 kids will keep me, going crazy here in this apartment, especially if there's a lockdown happening.
Right.
So, we'll see how that goes, but just another chapter in the book, I guess.
Anyone on your team that we would know from over
Elias Harris played at Gonzaga. He's my age when Gonzaga was good. He's
You
actually
guys are having a regular chat session up today, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm back. I
He's
can
back.
hear now. I can hear. I don't know what was going on. I couldn't hear, but anyway, I'm back. I don't know what all you all have talked about.
Well,
besides
we
George's private
just
life.
you here. Let me summarize it for you real quick. I've harped on not being able to shoot the ball again for 15 minutes like I always do, and Jordan has thrown in a whole bunch of really good things to talk about. But I mean, we've just kind of recapped the game a little bit and the early season.
The free throw shooting is strange on a day when they shot so well from behind the arc and again so poorly at the free throw line. Again, 2 shooters. How does that happen? I mean, is it just
I'm gonna
a
let
freak
Jordan
day?
answer that.
I don't know. Do you guys remember Lee Humphrey? He played at Florida. He shot like 48% from 3, little guard, but he shot like 50% from the free throw line. It's a mental thing and mechanical. I don't know, man. They're free for a reason. So for me, that's how I've always looked at it. When I shoot, if I miss 2 in a season, that's a great thing for me over here. If I miss 2 free throws the whole year, that's my goal is 5 or less. But 18 for 31? That's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, here's I look at that from the standpoint, and like I'm Johnny Negative, so I'm glad that you're on here, Jordan, to kind of make it a little lighter. But they're not shooters. These guys are not. They're not shooters. A lot of it would be confidence if, if it happened every once in a while. Like Jim, if you said if this was an anomaly and it didn't happen regularly. But, I mean, they'll have games. Trace Jackson-Davis, I can remember specifically last year, went like 14 for 15 or 15 from 16 in one game and then turned around the next game and was less than 50%. And it, like, that's the stuff that I'll just say, like, if you're capable of making 15 for 16, then you're just not practicing enough if you have a game where you shoot less than 50% after that. And the ups and downs are what drives me crazy about this team shooting the ball.
And that's the next question is they're obviously on fire today, but they're playing against a team that their tallest player was 6'7". So it's basically like shooting practice out there, and they couldn't hit in the beginning. The shots started falling, and then everybody kind of started hitting. It was like spreading. Everybody was hitting. You talked about the freshmen. They were in there today, Todd. And Trey Galloway was kind of a spark early. He was 4. Didn't he finish 4 on the day, I think, or 5, whatever?
5, I think, yeah.
Good day for Trey Galloway. He was trying to score the ball. He was trying to make some things happen, it seemed like.
Yeah, Trey, he used that early on. I think the very first game of the season, people saw like, oh, wow, this guy gets out and runs. It's kind of like a mix of Sheehy, plays super hard, going to try to make the right plays. And get out on the floor. And he did that today. He gave us a little spark. And like you said, it's kind of like a domino effect. Once 1 3 went in, Armand started hitting all these threes. Then Lander hit a 3. Leo got his first 3. Finnessy got his feet set and hit 2 threes in a row, I think. So, again, Todd and I were talking about that. Hopefully this is a good confidence booster, getting them the right mindset going into this upcoming tough stretch they got.
Jim, I would have loved you to have heard the beginning of this because I wanted to see your face when Jordan early on said that this team has to shoot more than 20 threes in a game in order to be successful. Because I say that all the time, and Jim's in the mindset of they need to shoot 10 3-pointers because they're not very good shooters, which
I hate
that part of it I agree with. But, hey, did anyone by chance see Justin Smith go 0 for 3 from the three-point line last night? Like, I figure I'd just throw that in there just to complain about it, even though he's not even on our team anymore.
Jordan, it was one of his favorite things last year when Justin Smith would jack up a 3 like he always would. Just at the most inopportune times, it seemed, too. So
0 for 3 in Arkansas last night.
If we shoot 23s, they're all in rhythm, like within the offense, like that. Even if we don't make them, we need to take the open 3. That's the defense is going to have to respect it. Maybe they close out, and we got guys who can drive. Finnessy, Al, Armand, they can all go by their first defender. It's just those you got to get them to close out to you first. get them to respect that shot. So then that's going to open even more up, right? You got the 3-point ball, you got the mid range. Now you get inside the trace. You got to be able to do all three.
How many threes did you get up in your game last night?
How many threes? Last night I was 2 of 7. I played 6 games. I've shot 43.
That's why we love you.
21 of 40.
That's why we love you.
What about turnovers, man? They were not very good with the ball in the first half. 11 first-half turnovers. They turned that around in the second half and get a hold of it. Of course, the shooting was a lot better, but that first half, they were very sloppy with the ball. 11 turnovers, way too many, especially against a team like North Alabama.
Yeah, and the style that North Alabama was playing as well. I mean, that's just – it's too many, except for what I said in the last game is I would rather them play a little faster and turn it over 15 times than walk it down the floor and turn it over 9 times. Like, I just can't stand the slow pace. Like, if they'll push it, this is a game where you can get used to pushing the ball a little bit. And if you got to turn over in a game like this, they're not going to lose this game. So if this is the game they've got to turn it over a little bit to get used to it, I'm good with that.
And we've talked about transition a lot, Jordan, because we've heard them talk about trying to run the offense that way, but we don't see it. But I just don't see this team having a lot of capabilities of running that transition. They don't have playmakers, guys that are out there, guys that are trying to be playmakers yet. It doesn't seem. So I don't know. How can this team find at least some kind of happy medium to pick up the pace?
Well, I don't know what their I can't say for certain what their scheme is, what their press break, what their fast break positions are, how they fill their lanes. We were talking a little bit earlier, and I've said it before. I think Trey's our guy who can come, full head of steam in transition, but also be able to find the right pass. Sometimes we get too deep into the paint. We over dribble maybe and don't hit the open guy for a hockey pass and get the next assist. Those are things that we can for sure work on, and I'm glad that we did try and do that a little bit today, even if there were more turnovers. I think Lander can push the ball really well. That's kind of what he does. He likes to play fast. We've had a small sample size of him doing that or having the chance to do that, but getting out and running, we're getting the stops. Our defense looks good. We just got to be able to convert on the other end.
Todd,
what can I add to that?
So what's this team do now? They got some time off. They've seen what we know what they need to work on, and how do you get over this time? You play a team that, I don't know, it doesn't really do a lot for them to play this team, but they got to play a game. I guess that's more important than anything, playing against someone other than your own faces that you see every day.
Yeah, the weird part is the schedule for this year. I mean, this is just a different year. Playing 2 days before Christmas in a Big Ten game and the day after Christmas in a Big Ten game, unprecedented. It's never happened before. So I don't really know how to tell these guys to prepare for something or what to think about in preparing for this, because this week sucks. Like, you remember in the past, Jordan, like the week of this would be finals week right now. Mm-hmm. And this week always sucked for practice when you've got a full week off, and you can practice as many times as you want, and the coaches can have you in there watching film and doing everything under the sun. Like, this week kind of sucked in the past, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be a little bit different. I mean, with COVID, they probably have other restrictions on how long they can be in there.
Yeah, I don't know what those rules are. When's they play Butler next, correct?
Yeah, next weekend, next Saturday.
Okay, yeah.
And then they'll go. What's that?
If that happens,
is it a possibility of not? Well, I guess it's always a possibility, but is there a rumor of it not?
No, it's just that the girls had a problem. They had to cancel the girls' game, and there's just so much been going on. Yeah, everything. Everything is week to week.
It was going to be.
I hope it happens.
It was going to be cool because Indiana could have gone to Bankers Life and watched a basketball game, and then gone over to Lucas Oil and watched the IU football team play. But they got royally fudged out of that thing.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen. They're ranked. What was it? They came out today 7th in the coaches poll. So the AP poll comes out. Well, it's already out. It's past 2 o'clock.
Florida. We got Florida knocked out of the way. We booted them last night.
Well, see how that goes. But so what's next? Are you happy with where this team is, Todd? From what you've seen last game, where are you moving forward?
Here's what. Yeah, so I like the fact that they used this game for exactly what it's in the schedule for and exactly what they needed at this time of year. If they would have come out of this and shot poorly again today, then no, I'd be extremely disappointed. But they didn't do that. So, I mean, you've got to look at that as a positive and take the fact that they used it for what it is. They were going to beat this team no matter. They could have still shot 30% from anywhere, and they were still going to win this game. That wasn't the point. But they were able, I think, to gain some confidence and get some momentum going forward because they're going to, this is not Butler's best team, but Butler's still a very good defensive team, and it's going to be a battle when you go play in that game. And then the games right after that, starting with Northwestern and Illinois, I mean, you know what those are going to be like right off the bat. So it's this game was right for them, and I think they accomplished what they needed to out of it.
You got to play in the Crossroads Challenge, Jordan. That had not come along yet when Todd was playing, so you had the chance to play against teams, especially when you play in-state teams. They have a chip on their shoulder, man. Indiana's a team that they want to knock off.
Yeah, we lost to Butler my senior year. That was pretty terrible, but it's a great tournament. It just showcases not only UVassel, but the state of Indiana. Really, people forget how good the state is and how, if we can represent the state, everybody can see that. So that's a pretty cool thing to be able to do. But you're right. Everybody wants to knock off IU for sure, and Purdue when they're rolling. Everybody, whoever's playing obviously wants to win, but for sure if they're going against us, they want to knock you out.
Auburn just fired Gus Malzahn, so there's that. There's a coaching job open by looking. So there you go. Before I forget, Jordan, what's going on with JH1? I mean, we talk about this when you're on the show all the time, but you got some teams in Wisconsin and Ohio. It's spreading out. Where are you guys right now? Are you back to playing some with the COVID?
Yeah, so it's been pretty difficult because right now, I have teams that are in high school, so they're not doing JH1 stuff. Right now, they're doing high school stuff, but I do have younger age groups in Bloomington and some in Indianapolis. I know in Bloomington, some of the leagues have been shut down. So they haven't been able to play as many, so they're just trying to find ways to keep practicing. So it's kind of been kind of chaotic, but what in 2020 hasn't been that way. So I'm just trying to keep everybody positive and just get through the year and trying to get them as many opportunities as they can. Then when I come back in the summertime, I'll continue my training and hopefully events are going and, we can get tournaments rolling with whatever's happening. And who knows, we can't predict the future, but that's our goal is just to, help impact as many kids as we can and help them learn the game the right way. That's what JH1's all about. So through the training, through the camps, if I'm allowed to have camps, and then through teams.
Both you guys have done a great job of that, and we appreciate you both as always, man. Well, it's great to be back. So we're off till the 19th. How long is that? Was that 10 days?
Next Saturday.
Wow. Yeah. Football game's canceled. That stinks. I don't know that Indiana plays again until the bowl game, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Will there be a bowl game? It's the next thing. I mean,
well, that's beyond a week from now, man. Like I said, if anything's beyond a week, it's just hoping. Jordan, I think Jordan may be the safest of everybody. I think it's safer over there where he is.
You're wrong. You see, you missed the beginning of the show.
We're
shut down this week.
On a lockdown this week. You can't go.
The other day, we were talking about how safe it was.
Numbers are going up. I don't know, man. I'm just a hermit. I'm in my apartment. I'm not leaving. I just go shoot a couple shots every day and come back home. My wife's got 3 kids, so I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing.
Your wife is the all-star of that family. There's no doubt. I've never met her, but I'm in awe of her right now.
Well, man, we can't appreciate everybody again, and thank you. We look forward to doing this again. And look at Monday. We'll be back on the air Monday morning to talk about things as well. But Don Fisher and Matt Taylor from the coaches, they're going to take on the Raiders here today. So look forward to watch that. So go out and have fun. And guys, as Todd, continue your safe trip. Get you back home. And Jordan, good luck. You had a game last night. How'd you do last night?
One on the road, big game on the road. So it was good. Can't complain.
Awesome. We appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys very much. And we'll talk to you guys. Have a great weekend for everybody else. Wear your mask. Do something for nice to somebody. Until Monday, I'm Jim Coyle. I'll see you on the radio.